We are going to learn how to make our chimera in Photoshop. Here's an example. This is a combination of multiple animals. The crazier the better. Here we've got, looks like a mouse, and I think I used antelope, tarantula, cat, duck feet, and alligator feet. So a whole lot of everything. For this assignment, you just need a minimum of 2 different animals. Feel free to add more like this. So we're going to open up a couple files. Let's see, I think I made it on the desktop. Go to Chimera, and we're going to open a lion and a, I don't know, ox maybe. I don't know, something with some horns. So I want to add these horns to the lion. So my lion's going to be my base, and I'm going to add the horns over to that. So the first thing I want to do is just, I can drag the whole image over, or I can just select what I want to drag over. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to click on the marquee tool here, click and drag, give myself a little extra room, and then I'm going to press Command C to copy this. And I'm going to go to my lion, and I'm going to press Command V to paste it. All right, so now I've got my horns right here on top, and I'm going to slide them about where I think into place. If I need to go bigger or smaller, I can press Command T to transform that size and go larger or smaller. Sometimes it helps to decrease the opacity so you can kind of see what's underneath it, so right around like 50% or so. And I can take this and kind of line it up to where I think this should most likely be. So I'm going to go probably right about, we'll go a little bit smaller, right about there. Try that. We can always change it if we need to. And I'm going to increase my opacity again. And then just like we've done in a lot of other assignments, we're going to create our layer mask down here and click on my paintbrush tool and increase my paintbrush. If I right click on that, hardness, you know, some around 60% probably will be good. You don't want a real hard brush, but you also don't want a real soft brush for certain areas. So it depends what we're working on and doing. So I'm going to just go ahead and quickly paint away or get rid of. Whoops, and I messed up a little bit, but that's easy fix. And I'm going to Command plus to go a little bit closer. And we'll take this. All right, so we're just going to do this real quick. And again, I went too far. Well, that doesn't matter because we don't want the ox's head here. So I don't know what that thing is. Mud ox maybe? Anyways, come in here, try to be a little more careful. Whoops. Okay, if I press X, I can switch to my white here to bring that back. Right, and I'm going to fix this spot over here that I messed up on, and then X again, I'll switch back. You can also over here click on the double arrows. If you need the white and black, just click on that. If you have different colors, it'll automatically choose white and black for you, and then you can switch them that way. But I like keyboard shortcuts, makes life a little quicker, easier, and I'm not having to move my mouse back and forth, so it definitely saves time. And someday, if you become a professional and are doing this for a living, time is money. All right, so I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit more just so you guys get the gist. And we'll come in here. See if we can do this one a little better than last time. Okay, so obviously you'd want to get in real close with a smaller brush and clean that up better. But what we have now is a lion with horns, but it looks awfully fake. So we want to do better than that. We're better. We're not okay with mediocrity. So we want to blend this. And so there's a couple ways that you can blend it. We can kind of, decrease our opacity or flow up here. So on my brush tool, if I bring this down real low, I can kind of just take away parts of it. And you know, it starts looking a little bit better. You don't have those hard lines, but sometimes it's better to have kind of almost a layered effect. So what we want is these horns to look like they're in the, let me go back, kind of in the fur. All right, so one, I think I'm going to move these. Maybe we're okay. Just don't know about the ear there. Not sure why this lion only has one ear too. So we'll go ahead and leave that here. I'm going to actually make this just a little bit smaller though. Bring it in to probably right about, yeah, maybe we put it behind the ear. Let's see. We'll experiment, okay? So I want fur on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my background layer, the layer of the lion. I'm going to click on my marquee tool, and I'm going to select the area that I want fur to overlap the horns. So you don't have to be real precise. We're going to go right about there. I'm going to press Command C to copy, Command V to paste. You're not going to see anything because it's still underneath the horns, but if I drag layer 2 here, which happens to be what I just copied and pasted, drag it on top of layer 1, now you can see that it covered it. We're going to create another layer mask. I'm going to click on my brush tool. B is the shortcut for that, and now I'm going to erase away the fur. And I'm going to get in close, and I'm going to use a really low flow, and I'm just going to kind of just a little bit at a time so that we kind of see some fur on top. You know, it's not perfect, but let's go ahead and leave the horn on top. We definitely don't want any hard lines. That's a telltale sign. But now it looks like this horn is behind the ear. It looks a lot more realistic and almost like we've got a little bit of shadow from the ear on there. So here we can kind of just give a little bit. I'm gonna go back a little bit on this. I want a little more fur on there. So now it looks like the horn's coming out of the fur, and you've got a much more realistic looking critter here. The other thing I might do, I might darken up these horns a little bit. So if I go to horns, I can go to image and adjustments and brightness, contrast, keep it simple. And we'll just darken those up just a little bit. Okay, so hit OK. So before and after might match a little bit better. One thing when you're choosing your photos, keep in mind that you want a high resolution image. Best way is when you're Googling those to go to tools and choose a large file format or large file. Also, try to choose the same type of lighting, whether it's soft or hard lighting. The direction of lighting is real important. If it's not similar, it's going to look fake and it's going to stand out as a fake. So again, we're looking for realism and trying to get this as realistic, even though it's a fictitious animal, as possible, and have a little bit of fun with it. So hopefully this helps get you started. Again, feel free to add additional animals and be creative.